So this is the training intelligence system for aNewSpring. Essentially, what we would use the system for is to collate all bits of information that we can get out of aNewSpring from a data perspective, from a user profile to results to everything. As much as we can pull out of the system, we can present it in a nice, presentable way. It's graphical, it's easy to use. And basically, you analyze once. So you do this initially, and then you can schedule reports. You can share it with various different stakeholders or customers as well. So this is just the overall dashboard, but let's look at some interesting data here. So I'm going to first start off with subscriptions. All right. So here we've got a list of learners. You can search, you can filter. You can also filter it by subscription dates or completion dates. All of this is live and in real time. So if we look at someone like, let's say, Lara, all right. Now we can see instantly what Lara is getting up to. She's got quite a poor completion rate within this subscription date timeline. Now that's quite interesting. Let's drill through this learner profile in a little bit more detail. Okay, so Lara has completed 3 courses. She's still got 2 to take, and she's in progress with 1. Her overall score is pretty good. I mean, she's quite a high achieving learner, and she's logged onto the platform 8 times and spent just about 20 hours on that. You can see there's a lot of detail that gets pulled into these reports, from grades, statuses, assessment attempts, and really we can work with you to design this dashboard, and it's tailored to your needs specifically. Where I find it absolutely fascinating is something from like a time variance perspective, especially from a facilitator or instructor level. If we look at this specific environment, we can see that a lot of learners are logging in on Wednesday between the time of 2 and 4. So that's really good to know, especially from an instruction perspective, because now you know when to jump onto aNewSpring, when to communicate with those learners, where to curate content and share useful information with them. It gives you, as a facilitator or as an instructor, a lot more impact with your time. And that's just one example. If we look at another, I think I'm going to show just from a demographic perspective. We've got a customer here in South Africa called the City Lodge Hotel Group, and they operate well over 100 hotels in various different regions all across the continent, or Southern Africa, really. And what's interesting is if we look at, for instance, this particular hotel, we can get a quick dashboard on how this hotel is performing. How many learners are at that particular hotel, who's in progress, how many have completed. I didn't pull up the best example here because I see they've got quite a few learners that haven't started, but that's a good thing to know. So what else could we see in this let's look at something like a performance indicator across all hotels. Let's see which region or which branch is actually performing against others. So here we've got some of the lower achievers, and then on the other side, we've got some of the higher achievers. And why is that? You can use that information to find out what's going on within that branch. Maybe it's something to do with the way they communicate their learning or their learning culture. It gives you a lot of insight on where to improve and how to improve. Another facet where I find it quite interesting as well is from a payment perspective. Now you're starting to look at data outside of the platform. So let's just go to the overview. And this is quite a good dashboard for me, because I can see, okay, how many students are subscribing based off what type of payment. Are people actually enrolling more often if they're getting coupons or discounts, and why is that? We've got something here called TBUB, or try before you buy. So using the demo functionality or the demo template within aNewSpring, we're able to offer learners an opportunity to test out a course for up to 10 days on certain activities. But what's interesting here is you can see there was 585 learners that tried out the demo course, but of that, we've had a pretty good conversion. So 130 odd learners have now converted into paying customers. And this is a graduate school, it's a university. They charge a hell of a lot for their degrees and their courses. So that's a very decent conversion rate. On the right here, we've also got a bit of a lens on how our instructors are actually performing. So we've set a threshold here of performance to their completion rates, their learner completion rates, to 70%. So if we go into our instructor tab, let's pinpoint someone, Karen, okay? And I see it's already filtered to Q1 of 2021. So remember, this is all real time. Now there's something interesting going on here, because we can see there's quite a low completion rate with her learners, and you can see that the login occurrence is actually dropping off. That's not a good thing. It's not a good sign that this instructor or facilitator is actually doing well. But I think it might be due to the fact that she's got 280 assigned learners. Maybe that's too much for one individual to facilitate. So you can use this information and digest it in certain ways that makes sense. I think finally, I'm not too sure how we are on time, but I just want to showcase that you can in fact get this information through the platform. You don't need to use an external link. You can actually have it as a thumbnail on the platform itself, jump right into it directly from aNewSpring. So very exciting, I think. Again, using tools, in this instance, we've used Microsoft BI or Power BI. There are loads of tools out there that allow you to curate dashboards like this in terms of what data is going on. But I hope this session, I hope you found it interesting. If you do have any questions, please do pop them in the chat or in the Q&A tab. But yeah, I hope it gives you a bit of insight into how you can use training intelligence in a sense to elevate your learner's experience, your facilitator's impact, and don't look at it from a siloed perspective. There's loads of data that's embedded within aNewSpring that's really powerful if you know how to use it, and importantly, if you know how to analyze it. And again, not all learning and development personnel or instructional designers or teachers or trainers, you have a good background in business analysis, but having a lens on this sort of information certainly helps improve your overall training objectives. So thank you. I really hope you enjoyed the session. It's been great to be here.